All right, welcome everybody. This is Brother Francis. I'm here for Wisdom Keys with Brother Francis, and it's just what it is. This technology is giving me the runaround. So I'm here today with my topic, Live Your Life Now, is the main title, and the balance of that title is with balance and moderation. So I'm hoping here that this will go through without an issue. There's always a lot of tech issues lately. So I'm going to pop one over to make sure I can hear myself, and then we'll start flying or driving up the road, so to speak. And I think I'm on. Myself, and then we'll start flying. Yep, I'm on. So, live your life now. What does that mean? And all of us have been, at some point in our lives, working with this, right? Living with who we are now, who we are becoming in every moment of our life. We're seeing things that we have going on around us that may not be comfortable, but it happens. We all are going through different levels, different changes emotionally, mentally, physically, and spiritually. And that's just 4 areas. There are lots of other areas. The material world, which includes the financial world. Then there's, if you're involved in business or not business at all, you can be a person who's struggling with your inner ethics, which I call is how you might relate to other people at any given moment. What I don't know about you guys, but I've been experiencing for the last 2 months at least. Sometimes my emotions flip flop, and it's not like I'm trying to shut myself off or shut myself down or push myself all the way out emotionally. It's just sometimes I'm just having like, should I or shouldn't I? Maybe I'll just be quiet. Maybe I'll just pull my emotions in. Other people are feeling it on the mental side where they worry a lot, about everything, and sometimes things that are minute blow up into something that's big for no reason because one might be in another person's space emotionally or mentally or even physically. Have also experienced for years, I've grown from being less introverted to more extroverted. But basically, I've always been an invert, someone that just wants to remain on the inside. And I've done numerous things. Or when I was younger, my parents put me in numerous situations socially. They found out I had an interest in playing the guitar, or wanted to play in a R&B group when I was younger. And it didn't really happen until the summer between my junior year in high school and my senior year in high school that I started getting out. Now, the other members of the group, they were always outgoing. Those young guys had quote unquote game. They were talking to everybody and anybody. Me, I was always on the inside. But it taught me something about myself. I could still be myself and be comfortable. So a part of this message today is, if it's about living your life now, is learning to be comfortable in your own skin, so to speak, in your own environment, in your own surroundings, in sometimes with what your thoughts might be about yourself. But it's being comfortable with that. Now, also with that is, within yourself, making sure you're not hurting another individual. And if you know you're not, you're not. Sometimes people may say things to you like, you might be bothering them, but you're not, because you're not doing anything that does that, that denotes that kind of nature. And so, but other people may have a view of you, and they might have their own feelings come up, and they're dealing with their own feelings about you, and that's okay. I run across people all the time who are wanting to dissect my emotions, my mental state, my physical, my financial state. And hey, I'm doing what I'm supposed to do for myself, but I'm not hiding behind anything and never was hiding. Maybe I didn't want to express my thoughts or my feelings, and that doesn't mean I'm hiding. Many of us go through this, especially if you're in quote unquote field that spirituality and metaphysical things. So you go through that a lot because you're working on yourself. You're doing your best, or what you feel is the best, to change yourself. As you change yourself, you're going to open up into whole new levels. And many times it may make other people uncomfortable. And you're not trying to make other people uncomfortable, you're just trying to catch up with that part of yourself. So, and often it is not easy for people who are accustomed to you being a certain way. So sometimes you just have to, I always say to myself, and this has been the last 5 years, is not to take on other people's feelings or thoughts about me. Because if I do, then I'm taking on that energy, which doesn't really fit with my energy. But it can fit on different levels. So I strive not to do that. We all can still be caring personalities or caring people, but you don't have to take on other people's thoughts or feelings about you. And you don't have to take on, they don't have to take on the thoughts and feelings that you might have about them. It doesn't make you phony. It doesn't make you somebody hiding. It's just what it is. I believe, I'm going to say it, use the word believe, that we all do this. We all do this on some kind of level where we're seeking for validation, attention, we want to be loved. But in the end, or as people like to say, the younger people say, at the end of the day, you still have to love yourself. And you have to do whatever that takes without harming another person and loving yourself. With me, I just get quiet. That's what I do. I get quiet. Sometimes in our knowing and in our understanding with ourselves, we don't have to explain ourselves all the time to other people. And I know this is going on all over the world. I'm not the only one. I mean, literally all over the globe. You can be in France, you can be in Italy, you can be in Spain, you can be in Akibulan, which has been called Africa. You can be in Australia, Austria, Germany, Russia. This happens to everybody all over the world. We all have these experiences in numerous languages, so it doesn't really matter. Just you could see yourself in the message today. Often, we have to learn how to share that feeling without feeling that you're intimidating or you're blocking someone else from expressing what they see there with yourself. Just let them see. It's okay. Because the next day it changes. Our old way would be your mood swing. You have a mood swing. It's not a mood swing. We are consciously and unconsciously evolving. And sometimes those moments of evolution that we are experiencing with ourselves can be confusing internally or externally, or from the internal to the external. And that's why things like meditation is important. Not reading, just going inside yourself and just sitting with the energy. without interpreting the energy. See, that's the cool thing. So you can go inside yourself and not have to interpret your energy yet. What is it? You don't have to perceive what you think it is. Just let it be what it is and allow yourself to sit with it without putting any label on it. That's another challenge within ourselves, is learning how we as an individual can sit with our own thoughts and our own feelings without self-judgment. One of my meditation students, when I was doing I have a group, Creative Pathwork meditation group that I lead with some of my longtime students who live in New Jersey. And last year, they requested would I come and go online with them and do like I used to do. And I said, well, this time it's going to be an interactive. It's not just going to be straight guided meditation. Some of it will be silent meditation, or some I'll just give them an image to focus on, and then they walk with that image inside themselves. And one of the people had sent me an email later that said maybe next time when they express a thought or an idea about their experience, they'll, tone it down some, or they will rewrite it or rethink it in their mind before they speak it. But basically, the gist of it was the person felt uncomfortable stating what their experience was in front of others. And they felt like they may have been way out there. And I had to ensure that longtime student that there's no judgment. The other people aren't judging her. I'm not judging her. It's a safe place where you can express what you felt that in that moment the meditation was like for you. And by doing that, you start to relax into not judging yourself or not thinking you seem odd to other people. So I told that person in the email, what you can do is you don't have to express. Even though I'm asking, like, how do you feel during this meditation or after the meditation? What does it feel like for you? I was letting the person, my student, know that it's okay. You don't have to answer everything. You don't have to have an answer for every question I may have at that moment. It's about helping them get to a level of comfort inside themselves when they are meditating. Now, each one of these students, they meditate on their own, and they also need to be in group setting. Now, since they all live relatively close, except for one person, the person was stating this, they used to live there, they live out of state now. But the other people live in a fairly close area. I'm not going to name the city, but they are literally very close to each other. When they get comfortable online with each other, they could always meet and do a session with themselves, because I'm meeting with them only once a month for about 90 minutes or so. So I bring this up because I've been there where they are now. Whereas you get so much into your meditation, whether it's listening to music while you're meditating, whether it's, the music can be symphonic music or what we call New Age music, or it has embedded in it binaural beats, which go into the hertz cycles of certain, certain hertz cycle frequencies. There's so many ways, or it's just sitting in silence, or it's just having your crystals out and picking them up and tuning into them, or wearing them, or find yourself engaged with them. There's so many different avenues. But this whole thing about meditation, some of the benefits, and this is not all of them, you'll be able to be relaxed, to relax the mind or draw the mind away from self, which means draw yourself away from the ego or touch the ego so that that part of yourself is in attunement and alignment with all other aspects of yourself. Then there's that moment where you can experience an awareness or an awakening or a sense of self-discovery with yourself, with something that you didn't see or didn't understand about yourself before while being seated in your session, whether it's in group format or solo format. Then there's this other level that comes out with yourself that, okay, how can I best benefit from all of this? Well, there's gratitude, being in a state of gratitude, being more compassionate with yourself while you're in the midst of the energy of your session, right? Whether it's with group or 2 or 3 other people, small group, large group, or just yourself. Or as the second part of this title today is, because it says, right, live your life now, what that is for you. But with what? You got to include balance and moderation. So what that means, if we work with moderation, to do something in moderation means not to overdo it, not to flood yourself with the energy of meditation. In other words, take a break. Take a break. So just as much as you want to meditate every day, every week, several times a day, or several hours a day, or I'll just say moments a day, you have to do it moderately. In other words, you don't want to overwhelm yourself, because then you may start to pressure yourself. Especially if you're getting to a point where you saw something in your meditation and you tried to come back to it again and you couldn't get to what you saw in your mind's eye in your meditation. You may have heard something, but you go back into the meditation and you're unable to hear it again or recall the sound again. But there's a whole nother side of that now. Just as much as you can meditate a lot, what would be something of significance to do next? Well, to think about balancing meditation across the board with everything else that you're doing. There might be some other things that bring you joy, peace, harmony, happiness to yourself. It could be being out with friends and loved ones. It could be playing games, like a game night. Okay, which that lends balance. Why? Because you're not too much trying to figure out the spiritual path all the time. You want to have fun with it. There are moments when it's going to be serious anyway, so you try to balance it out. But for some people, like myself, the balancing out is not always having to be with others. It's just being in the zone where I'm absolutely quiet, where I'm not thinking one way or the other, feeling one way or the other, good, bad, or indifferent. I'm just right there in the moment, listening or feeling or sensing, but doing my best not to do any of those. It would be equivalent, an example would be sitting in the dark in my house with no lights on and just feeling without reaching out physically what's around me other than my physical body. So, live your life now with what? Joining that energy with the energy of balance and moderation. Doing something in moderation. People say, like, when we eat in moderation. Whether it's 5 small meals to 3 little larger meals, or 3 smaller meals, or consuming the body with liquids, whether it's filtered water, mineral spring water, energized, Reiki water, whatever, crystallized water, but not overdoing it. Because you're trying to balance the body, you can't flood the body in order to balance the body. The body needs time to what? Process energy, coming and process nutrients, and processing toxic energy and toxic stuff and moving that out of your system. It's the same in overall with life. You have toxic moments you got to process and get rid of. You've got sweet moments, as I call them, those moments that are truly in line with you, where you feel happy or happier. There's those moments when you're using balance or remaining balanced. So what are some of the things that could bring balance to us? You might be a person who seeks out classes in yoga or practice yoga physically, like in Hatha yoga movements. Hatha meaning sun moon energies. Breathing that way, sun moon energies, which is right and left nostril energy. Or you might just sit in, again, silent meditation. Or you might go for a walk, or you might ride your bike, or you might go someplace where you could swim. You might go into an environment that you normally don't go to, or maybe one you haven't been in for a while. To just be in the element, to give balance from being too active in a certain field of energy. So we're always seeking some form of balance and some form of moderation that helps us to live now. Now meaning in the moment. Another word for now is being mindful, being aware of where you are at any given moment in your life. Who's around you, who's not around you. What do you see, what do you don't see? What do you feel, what you don't feel? It is somehow allowing yourself to do that, to have that experience, but without judgment. Now, as much as you may not have judgment, you will have discernment. In other words, you'll know what is good for you or what is not good for you in that moment. But that doesn't mean it'll be like that in every moment. It just means at that moment you know what is right for you and what is not right for you. Whether it's speaking, doing, listening, absorbing energy. One of the things that I find, and again, I'm speaking from my experience, is I've come to the understanding is I don't have to know everything. I don't have to know everything that's going on around myself. And yet, in the process of not having to know everything perfectly, information comes to me in different ways. Now, the key thing is when it's coming to me in different ways, different avenues of expression, I have to use my discernment. I have to know, is it healthy or not? And I can do that by simply going with the gut feeling, the first impression. Or I just put it out into the universe. I'm not sure what that is, but it will clarify itself shortly, or it will clarify itself soon. So I'm telling that structure of energy around me in my auric field and inside my body to do what? Bring more light onto whatever is happening around me so that I can have more comfort, or I feel safer, or I feel sound, I feel balanced mentally and balanced emotionally. I've also found, since I just stated balanced mentally and balanced emotionally, those are the two zones that have to get clear. We have to get clear in our thoughts, our thinking process, and we definitely have to get clear in our emotions. When we are clear enough, they will be aligned to each other. They will match up. and then whatever is considered spirit and spiritual expression or divine expression, it could slide down that pole and come right into the physical, whether it materializes around us and we could see it and interact with it, or we could feel it and interact with it through our feelings. Because we're clear emotionally, we're clear mentally. Now it's on the physical plane and we know what it is, we know where it came from, and we're not upset. And we are remaining centered inside ourselves, or as I say, anchored through the heart, through the psychic, spiritual, metaphysical, whatever you want to call it, heart energy, heart chakra energy. Just sit with it in that space. Expand and breathe through that space. And then feel that, blossom out. Now, as that energy blossoms out of you, yeah, it may attract other energies. But if you are sensitive to your environment from the inside out, then you will hear that energy before it presents itself physically to you. You will hear that energy internally like an echo down a tunnel, or from your spirit guides that connect with you. But you will know that it's not your energy. You'll sense it's someone else's. And if you patiently wait, you will feel it come from someone else or another situation. So if I may, with a little less than 4 minutes left to go, living your life now with balance and moderation, let's do a little meditation together. Again, I'm not going to guide you to it. It's not necessarily silent. It's just a quieting way of meditation, where you utilize your breath to take you where you need to go. So right now you just inhale, and as you do that, you place the tip of your tongue on the roof of your mouth behind your 2 front teeth. And then slide it up a little higher, and it'll coincide with the point where your upper lip meets underneath your nose. So now when you put your upper jaw and bottom jaw together through your teeth, there's a connection between the front channel and the back channel right through the center of the body. You just relax. Just breathe in through the nose and out of the mouth just by slightly parting your lips. Do it 3 or 4 times. Now keep the lips together and continue to breathe fully. And you might feel a tingling sensation throughout your body. So it's like your whole body is into it now. And I'm just going to give you one image. You can take that image or you don't have to, but just one image. And this one image will represent either your heart center or your crown, but all of the energies are connected anyway. So I'm going to let you breathe fully and evenly through the heart center. And as you do that, maintain a level of awareness so you're not falling asleep. And feel like you're breathing, and you are, on some level, through every pore in your body, every pore in your skin. And you're allowing yourself to feel a sense of oneness in this moment. because you are focusing on just now. Know that you don't have to be perfect at doing this. You're just doing, and I want you to do what feels right. The image is a rose, and it's pink. And I want you to bring it up from your subconscious. Your subconscious holds all this information, and it doesn't know what's right or wrong, so you're going to give it a sense of rightness. That when you focus on in your mind the memory of a pink rose, you can see it unfold and close. And then eventually you feel it unfold all the way. And you just relax. Use this as a means of living your life now. Don't take it on as a burden. Don't judge it. Don't judge yourself. Do it in moderation, without judgment, bringing balance back to yourself and into your life without judgment. Feeling a presence of unconditional love, grace, compassion, understanding for who you are and who you are in every moment of your own life right now in the present. Today's date is July 8th, 2021. This is Wisdom Keys with myself, Brother Francis. Thank you for joining me. And let's continue to meditate on this in your own way without any judgment. Go a few more minutes. Enjoying the breath as it comes into the body through the nostrils and exit through the nostrils, right out of the pores. And through the pores as you inhale. Sense of freedom. Bliss. The presence of divine grace itself. And you begin to become that principle or all of those principles in your own way through the power of deep breathing. No worries, no anxieties. Knowing that you feel fine in every moment, feel a sense of blessings in every moment, and wellness in every moment, on every level. Remember, you don't have to be perfect at doing this. Just be present. Well, my grace is your grace. See you here next Thursday at 1 p.m. for another live episode of Wisdom Keys with myself, Brother Francis. Until next time, remember that divine grace is a blessing as we're alive and well in the age of remembrance. See you soon.